What's up, y'all? It's your girl Ayana, and we got Ike over here getting ready to show us how to take a regular slab of ribs from regular cut to St. Louis style.
All right, I like to start by cutting this little skirt off on the back. That's nice, pretty sharp, man.
Yep. Okay.
All right, and then you want to, the spare rib is just a bigger portion of the St. Louis cut when you're cutting into St. Louis cut. So you got this, I call it the breastbone on the top. But what you want to do is flip it over on the back side, and then you go, because it got that garlic in it right there.
You got your good little knife.
And you can hear that. Cut that big
Cut
bone
into
off.
Okay. Now, what you do with that? When you
Well, some people use it, make rib tips or whatever you want to do with it, but you can save it. We'll throw that to the side for now. And then as far as St. Louis cut, you want to make the ribs rectangular. So you want to cut like a straight line down this way. Like I said, that part up here is the rib tip part. But you're really trying to just square it off, make it rectangular.
Okay. Does it cook better if you do that?
Yeah, I like my rib to cook more flat on the grill, on the even surface. That's why I don't like baby backs like that, cause baby backs they curl up. But the St. Louis cut, regular spare ribs, they lay flat. I like mine to lay flat on the grill.
Okay.
So now then, you can it's these little parts on the end. You need to go in a couple of bones. Like I say, you want to square it off.
Okay.
So I'll probably go in. You can feel the bone. A couple of bones in, and just cut that off too. And you can always, like I say, use this part. You cook that separate, you know. You don't want to throw it away. And now to make this rectangular, like I say, you just go straight down on that side. And that's gonna give you your rectangular St. Louis cut.
Okay. Like you got it. Okay.
Like I said, that's still good meat right there. And then now you got your more rectangular shape, which is your St. Louis cut. So if you just really want to square it off, you do a little more cutting, make it really even. But St. Louis, it's all about making it rectangular and just an even cut.
Okay.
So that's your St. Louis right there.
Okay.
I mean, you trim off a lot of the meat, but like I say, you still use that other meat. You ain't just throwing it away though. So it's still good. But and then on pork ribs, that membrane on the back is best. I like to take it off. Some people leave it on, but it's up to you. And then sometimes you have that little bone right there. You just throw that ain't nothing right there. But and then take the membrane off. You go under there with a knife or spoon or whatever. And then if you got I really need a piece of paper towel. And then if you just get enough where you can grip it, try to grip it and pull that membrane off. Well, you pull the membrane off to have the season get down in there better than trying to deal with this chewy membrane part. Now, with pork ribs, you know, you can pull the membrane off, but beef, if you cooking beef ribs, it's best to leave it on, because beef ribs, it hold it together.
Okay.
But you can pull the membrane off with pork rib. That's it. That's the St. Louis. And you pull that membrane off, you put the season on it, it gets down in the meat. But that's really right there. Your St. Louis, you went from the regular spare rib to the St. Louis cut. That's your St. Louis cut.
Okay.
You really just want to have a sharp knife. Like you said, what you saw earlier, I couldn't hardly get through that because I was hitting that cartilage.
Mm-hmm.
But your knife sharp, which this is a sharp knife, but I just hit that cartilage. But other than that, that's all you need. A sharp knife, you can go to work. But anytime you got meat coming out of the refrigerator, you know, a little cold, it's easy to cut. So that's it.
Okay.
And I'll pretty much do the same thing with this one.
So you'd already cleaned the meat.
Yeah, meat already. That meat got to be clean. I ain't messing up. I got to have, my meat got to be clean. So, you know, same process.
And what's that piece called again?
It's that little skirt. Called the skirt. Why I like St. Louis cut better, because it'll lay flat on the brakes compared to baby back. To me, baby backs curl up when you cook them.
What about the spare rib? Would you rather cut it and do it squared up as opposed to just leaving that bottom part on, or does it really matter?
Yeah, now sometimes you can, just like I cut that breastbone off,
Mm-hmm.
you can cut that off, but you ain't always got to cut it St. Louis. You can cut this breastbone off, and then just leave the rest of it. You kind of round it off.
Mm-hmm.
You can round it off as compared to cutting the whole St. Louis style.
Mm-hmm.
But you can round it off, but you ain't got to cut the whole thing off.
Gotcha.
Matter of fact, I might just round this one off instead of just making it the St. Louis cut.
Okay.
I'll just round this one off. And you still got good meat on there. And then, like I said, but you still gotta come to the end part and cut a few bones off of there. But all this still good meat though. You can use it for some, you know, cook that separate. And when I mean round it off, you know, you can kind of give it a little curve shape like that.
Okay. Now, I noticed you got 2 slabs. Did you go buy them individually, or did you go and get them from a store? Like a major box store, like Walmart or Costco or...
Yeah, I got these from Wayfield, and they came 2 to the pack, to the Cryobo, what do you call it? The Cryobo pack.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I said, you always gonna have that little I don't know, that little end bone on there.
That little flat skinny bone just be in the way.
Yeah, might get rid of that one. Get rid of that too. See, this ain't just straight St. Louis, but it's rounded off a little bit. So then if you got some little fat part over here, but this ain't too much fat though, you might want to get rid of that. But I can work with that.
Okay.
And then once again, take that little membrane off the back.
Why you handle your meat real good, boy?
You got to. That's what I do.
So, babe, what we eat with this? We're gonna do some baked beans and what else?
Baked beans. That's about all I had right now. That's all I thought of right now. Unless you
Keeping
got
it
something
simple.
else in there. But other than that,
Yeah, it's the 4th of July here. So we are just doing a small grill session today. We ain't doing a whole lot. Cause he been working, he need to rest a little bit too.
hey, I couldn't say it no better.
But we knew we hadn't given y'all any content since we dropped that first content, so we had to get in here and do some stuff. Oh, that's coming out real good and smooth, man.
Like I said, you don't want that membrane on there.
That milk membrane to make it tough.
Yeah, it be a little tough, but like I said, it help that seasoning get down in there too, though.
When you take it out.
So these two, they ready to get seasoned up and go on the grill. And then I'm gonna put some chicken on there too, but we ain't gonna show you the chicken part, but it's gonna be chicken and ribs, and maybe it's hamburgers and sausage, but I was just trying to show y'all how to go from regular spare ribs to St. Louis cut.
I think this is one that can be appreciated, babe. We're gonna have to do some videos showing how you shop. Y'all, he is very particular when he shop for his meat. And he will be there for a minute looking at it, even if it's in the pack. So he's particular. We got a lot of little hunks we like to go to get meat. So we'll show you some of that in some later videos.